There it is. Look at that hat. Looking good.
Looking good, feeling better.
I love it. Yeah, big day for you.
Oh, man, I loved every second of it. Yes.
All right. Yo, it is another edition of the IO's podcast sponsored by, as you can see, if you're watching, which you should be, the beautiful Miller Lite in Jack Fritz's hand. Sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller time, Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly. I might have had a few Miller Lights today, Jack, down at the ballpark. Maybe a few.
Would never accuse you of that, but
Yes.
it was a day at the ballpark today.
It was. You know what? Let me tell you, I'm still hot. I've been home for like 2 hours, and I'm like boiling.
Yeah, so
like it was unreal out there today.
So the good part is obviously the ballpark was 120 degrees, and
It's unbelievable.
There was no shade. The best part is first off, took me, I don't know, about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get home, and I had to go pick up Jill, and then got home, and I was like, all right, I got to do the podcast. Great. Then I remembered I went up to my, up bedroom or whatever to do the podcast, and I forgot it's the hottest room in the history of the world. So,
oh no.
So listen, hey, on the positive side, shedding some LBs today.
Hey, dude, you look good. Honestly,
snack season.
You've been bringing it. Snack is in. You are a snack right now, especially with that hat on. Looking good, buddy.
I stole the idea from Crucker. Crocker's been wearing this hat.
It's a good look, man. Kruk knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a while.
He's always been a style guy. You know that.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the most important thing. Aside from Miller Lights today, a Phillies game where they lost, but we got a series win, and also all the freaking amazing people we hung out with, listeners to WIP, a lot of High Hopes fans, which was awesome. Shout out to Maddie McDonald, Jody McDonald's daughter, a fan of the pod.
Maddie Mac.
Awesome. Shout out to Maddie Mac. But met a bunch of awesome people. But I think the number one thing that people want to hear about, you doing Eagles chants at the Phillies game today. It was honestly a tough scene. It was you might have embraced it a little more than I expected. That's all I'll say.
Well, as we are told, you might as well jump both feet in if you're gonna do anything.
You didn't half-ass it, which I was both impressed and horrified by.
Well,
it was a dual thing.
As our favorite one, I think he's your favorite TV character and someone that I have molded my life after, Ron Swanson.
Oh, absolutely, the best of all time.
Don't half-ass one thing, whole-ass something, essentially.
That's right.
So something along those lines. But regardless, yeah. And did a Miller Lite.
He did.
Did a Miller Lite or two help? Yeah. So let me just get this out of the way.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Yeah.
Okay. So for those that you don't know that don't listen to WIP, that's perfectly fine. By the way, I have learned via social media that WIP not allowed to have fun. Everyone else.
That's the word. Yes, they don't like it. It's not cool.
Allowed to have fun.
Yeah, okay, we're serious. We're journalists. Did you
exactly.
know that?
We are doing serious journalism.
Serious work.
Let's establish the rules. Fun, bad, always. Fun is always bad. So for people that don't listen to WIP, I said on the show I would quit the show if they cheered Rhys Hoskins hitting a home run,
which was only days after you said I will quit IOPS if Spencer Howard is good against the Phillies. We didn't hold you to that. We were
if you want to check if you want to really break down the tape, I did say quality start.
Okay, good. I like that you went back and figured that out. It's good work.
No, I think someone sent me that, but either way,
still good work. It's still good work.
Either way, yeah. So I said I'd quit the show, obviously having fun,
tongue in cheek, as they say. Yes,
because I would have been surprised if they cheered Rhys Hoskins hitting a home run. It just happened to be the perfect scenario for it to happen.
Perfect scenario. 3-0, no big deal. The moment, it was perfect.
And I would have cheered too. It was a cool moment. It was fun. So of course we have our fun with it. And instead of quitting the show, they make me do five Eagles chants at the Phillies
because they
game.
Don't want you to quit the show. Let's be honest. That would have been a bad thing for them. So they were like, "How can we spin this where we're still gonna give it to Jack, but we don't actually want him to follow through."
Right. So. And I have long had an anti-Eagles chant at Phillies games.
Yes. I think a lot of people listening know this.
Yes. It's something.
Can I take it a step further? I would say, if I had to list, How about this? A top 5 things that Jack hates the most. Like, it would probably be on the top 5. Like, it would be in the consideration. Eagles chants at Phillies games would be one of the 5 things that probably made the top 5. So
totally agree. So yeah, like, we were there, we were having a good time, and it was also funny. We went up right in front of Fresky and LA's booth.
I saw the video of that.
Obviously, we talked to LA before, and Fransky, we've talked about Eagles chants at Phillies games. So yeah, it was fun. It was funny. I ended up doing 6, so just want that.
So they didn't credit the first. So I actually thought this was a very deft move by you. Jack shows up. We're all hanging out with listeners. There are a bunch of us there. Jack shows up doing an Eagles chant. So get it, and it didn't work out for you, but get one out of the way right away. But you also, I felt like you caught people off guard, and people just heard it. We're like, oh, and like you almost, it was like kind of a trick one, and I guess Spike wasn't having it.
Never. So anything that it makes me feel or makes me as embarrassed as possible. So now that that's out of the way, it was for anyone thinking, oh, this is what Jack loves now. He loves. I want that to be nipped in the bud.
Squash that right away. Yeah, none of that.
Not what I loved. So we'll get to the Phillies. I want to make sure we do this early in the pod.
At the top. We did it in the last minute of the pod last time. Let's go right to it. This honestly more important than you doing Eagles chants, but I just saw you do the Eagles chants, so I had to bring it up. Yes.
Right.
Aiden Miller. Let's get to the more important thing here.
Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, maybe George Clausen. We're coming. So we'll get to the Padres series, but tomorrow morning I'm going to tweet out a way for you to get tickets to come join us down in Wilmington, July 3rd. We got a good response to what we talked about last time. So if you missed it, basically we want to go to Wilmington. It's a lot closer, I think, for a lot of us, from like rather than Jersey Shore, North Jersey, whatever, it's about 35 minutes below for mostly everyone. So they're playing there July 3rd. It's a fireworks night, so that makes it even more fun. And we just want to go cheer.
Family friendly, as they say.
Family friendly. Yes. Big Wilmington Blue Rocks guy. And we just want to go cheer on Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford and all of our guys and having an old school, like, authentic high hopes kind of trip down and see the guys play and support them and stuff like that. So we talked to the Blue Rocks. They put together a section for us, and all you gotta do is follow the instructions that they sent me in a flyer. So I'll tweet that out tomorrow. I'll put it on the High Hopes Instagram account, which I barely use. And what I have realized, James, is that there are people somehow that listen to this podcast that aren't on social media. That are not on social media. So if you want to go, don't have social media, and you want information on how to get to the Wilmington game, then just email me or email us, even though it's me responding all the time.
Totally Jack. I don't even know the password. Yeah.
I forget the password too, but I'm logged in, so it's fine. The highhopespod@gmail.com. So we're going. Like, I hope we get a big group going and we can go see Aiden and just look like crazy people for a Wednesday night in Wilmington on Blue Rocks fireworks night.
Honestly, this is the most authentically High Hopes thing that we've done in a while. I'm not saying we've gotten big time or anything like that. We can't believe that anyone. We are rootsmen. We can't believe anyone comes to say hi to us. We can't believe we do shows on WIP. It's all still surreal to us. But like, this is the kind of thing that this podcast was founded on, has believed in from the start. And I mean, let's be honest, like getting to go to a minor league game with Fritzy, I mean, that should be on everyone's bucket list. I mean, that is, you want to see true joy in the eyes of another human being. Watch Jack see Aiden Miller hit live. Like, you're just going to see, like, when they talk about like love at first sight or those type of things, you can see it in their eyes or whatever. Like, people can just look at you and like, it'll be a magical thing to see that kind of love for something, anything in the world. So I mean, can't miss.
It is a bit of a touching time for me. You caught me in an emotional state.
That's true.
Because not only did I do something that I hated today, of course, but speaking of my real son and not Aiden Miller, He took like 6-7 steps today. So
buddy.
The little guy's starting to walk, which is he's already pretty energetic.
Good and bad. Good and bad. Yeah. You've met Zoe. Yeah.
So he's moving a little bit. So listen, a lot of things going on right now. But yes, I think the best way to describe watching Aiden Miller play in person is I'm going to have, I mean, you've seen this face, and I think that the people at that big, dumb, goofy smile, that's what you're getting. Yeah, that's what you're getting. When because in my head, I'm like, this is so stupid. But I find it hilarious.
I think it's the most authentic thing we've done in a while. Please coming out with it. It's going to be awesome. And we can see the best Phillies prospect since Mike Schmidt. Not my words. Like, people who really know what they're talking about's words.
Okay, let's address this. First, I want this out of the way, too, because I have to clear my name of a lot of things. Yes. I was not the scout. I'm taking myself out of the running. It was not me. I appreciate the quote.
Let's be honest. If it were Jack who was the scout, the quote would have been, Aiden Miller's way better than Mike Schmidt. Get ready.
Well, if it was really me, I would have leaned into he's Pedroia with a better bat.
It's exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
People would have known if it was you. It would have sounded exactly like you.
Thank you. So, the quote's aggressive. It's definitely aggressive. We've had some pretty good prospects. I mean, Cole Hamels was a huge prospect.
Yes.
Obviously, Don Brown was a huge prospect. He was right behind Trout and Harper. Mm-hmm. We know about Kyle Drabeck. We know about Utley coming through. We know about what Ryan Howard was doing when he's blocked by Jim Thome. We know about Jimmy Rollins. I appreciate it. I love Aiden Miller. I think he's been really good. It's such an aggressive quote that I actually hate because if he doesn't pan out and become a really, really good player,
it's a lot of expectations.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Kingery, dude. Like, Kingery was a really good prospect, but had only been doing it for like a year.
Like a year and a half, essentially. Yeah, exactly.
And people held that against him for forever. It's like, well, you told me he's Pedroia with. Mm-hmm. It's like, so I don't know. He's really good. I think he can handle all this stuff. Will he be able to handle a high hopes night where we're cheering for
buddy,
him and Justin Crawford and the
what is happening right now?
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, I appreciate the quote. And yes, before anyone asks, he's untouchable.
Yeah, great point. I will tone it down a bit. Okay, I'll take it a level down. Just think about it this way: if you're like, oh, should I come July 3rd? You have to work the next day. No big deal. Whatever. If you're like, should I do it? Should I not? Whatever. Forgetting hanging out with us. Think about 20 years from now, 25 years from now, when Aiden Miller is on the steps in Cooperstown being inducted in the Hall of Fame. You could say, I saw him win. Just file that one away. That's all I'm saying. Not to put expectations anywhere where they shouldn't be. Just saying.
And I would never put myself on the same level as Ray Didinger.
I am very intrigued to see where this goes. Please continue.
But can't you already see the play being written Aiden and me?
Yes!
Aiden and me?
Aiden and me. This is, it's really good.
I'm giving this speech. Just kidding. So
are you though? Yeah.
Just planting seeds.
A shred of truth in every statement, right?
Yeah. So either way,
the
I hope
only
everyone comes
difference
down.
there, Ray Didinger was like a kid when he met Tommy and that whole thing started. It's a little weirder when it's the 30-year-old guy following around the 20-year-old kid or whatever, being like, hey man, can I carry your helmet?
I think you're gonna be good. What if I did? What if I just quit my job and became a Jersey Shore Blue Claws bat boy?
It would be a bold decision.
But then as soon as he moves to the Reading, it's like, well, damn it. All right, Reading.
I know.
Do you need a bat boy?
You just got to follow him around. Yep.
I'll be the bat boy if you need me to be the bat boy.
It's good.
Yeah,
you'd be a good bat boy. Yeah. You're a baseball man.
Yeah, dude. Listen.
Yeah.
There's nothing
any role you'll freaking bring it to the team. You're an asset.
Dude, you need me to keep the book? I promised in 2014 I would never keep another book. But if you need me to do it at the minor league / big league level, I'll keep the book.
Yeah, but they need that these days. There's no other way to track these stats. So
correct.
It's important that someone busts out the pencil in the program and dives in. So thank you. For
56 straight perfect books at PSAC record.
It's one of my favorite things that you say. It really is. All right. Coming out with this, it's going to be awesome. We'll keep talking about it. But July 3rd, Wilmington, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, mostly Aiden Miller. It's going to be awesome coming out. Okay.
15 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Just letting you know how long we've been.
That's literally, I looked at it. I was like, all right, we got to talk.
Yeah, we got to do some Phillies.
I also told Jack, again, super tired, in the sun, waking up in the morning, had some Miller Lights.
I believe you are. Are you doing this podcast in your jammies?
I am. I'm not wearing pants right now. I'm wearing boxers. Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to stand up and show it, and I was like, I probably should.
No, we are a family show.
Just trust me.
We're a family show, buddy.
I'm in my boxers. So I originally said, all right, 30-minute pod. That's not happening. All right.
Not even close.
Yeah. Let's talk pods, Phillies. Look, we won the series last night. Obviously today, I'll be completely frank, I saw 0% of the game. Like I turned around when I heard people cheer for Harper's 2 homers, and that was like it.
So I love going to baseball games. I have no idea what happens in the game. Like that's why,
especially these ones, because we're with a bunch of listeners. You want to get to talk to people, meet people. People come and hang, and he pulled in this way, that way, this way, that way, and then it's like you're just all of a sudden it's the 5th inning, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
I will say the if you can get a good seat out in center field, the view is really good. It's a really good view. Like you can see all the game, but so obviously, like I'm going to watch it once they eventually upload it, which MLB.TV takes forever to upload these games.
It's a little annoying. I'm with you on
they
it.
They claim it's a half hour after the game. It's an hour and a half.
I've never stayed up long. I've always done it the next day. It's always been too long for me that night.
Yeah, but Ranger looked good. Harper had 2 home runs. Soto came in, and I think one of the biggest takeaways of the Padres series is while I agreed with the Rojas send down, and I'm okay with it. Like I think they wanted him to work on some things. I think they wanted him to work on the little things that he was not getting to work on at the big league level. And Pache, I'm not sure he's an everyday player. The drop off defensively from Brandon Marsh in center field, or from those guys and Brandon Marsh, it's pretty severe. Like Brandon Marsh is a really high level left fielder when it comes to defense, but there's been a couple times, and even that Soto ball, like I think he could have gotten. I think like Rojas gets there for that ball off of Soto, and there was in the Sanchez start the other night. Arguably both of them. I was in the car for one of them, and the second one where the only earned run came in on. That's a ball that Rojas gets to pretty much in his sleep. So while I agree, like I'll take more offense because I think this team needs more offense than defense. You did see early the downgrade in defense, especially in the center field spot.
Yeah, I think it's noticeable. And look, I think Pache is clearly better than Marsh out there, but even Pache is not quite Rojas. But Pache is good, and I couldn't believe how close he got to that home run. Like it was, I actually thought he had it in the moment.
Well, he timed it so well.
I thought he had it in the moment. I was like, I can't believe he got that. Like, wow. And obviously just missed it. But he's pretty good out there, Pache. Like I feel pretty confident with him. But it is a drop off from Rojas to him, and it is a much steeper drop off when you get to Marsh. And again, Marsh isn't a bad center fielder. He's just not good. He's like
it's just like when you see those guys, and then you see him, it's like, oh, there's definitely a difference here. And the single most annoying thing that people did when Rojas got sent down was, well, he's been a disappointment in center field defensively. It's like, what are you watching? Like sometimes the ball glances off his glove, and that's annoying.
Yeah, I think that was something that,
it's annoying. It's like but at the same time,
there's a bit of a lackadaisicalness to it at times, but it's because he gets there so fast. It makes it look. The point is, plays that he might screw up like that, someone's not even touching the baseball.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like no one else is in the stratosphere that Johan Rojas is to get to the baseball. So I think that is 100% overstated. And listen, maybe he goes down and
hits and comes back. Yeah.
Like that's in a perfect world heading into the deadline for the next month.
Well,
that'd be awesome.
I thought the way Topper said it, and I think part of it is to prop Rojas up, but I thought it felt genuine when Topper said the best version of this team is Johan Rojas in center field. Like the best that we can be is when that guy can handle being in that spot, and
without a trade for
as of now, and without like a massive drop off offensively, whatever.
Sure,
but
I agree.
I think he's right about that. I don't think that was just lip service to make the kid feel better when he sent him down. That's my point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's just the biggest question is going to be deadline. What do they do? And
absolutely.
Let's say they in a world where they don't get a center fielder, is Johan Rojas back up?
Yeah, well, I think it's more likely that Rojas gets another shot than they're just like, all right, Christian, you're the guy. Like, certainly. And a question of Marsh and Pache, like if they get Taylor Ward or something as an example of someone who is not, Luis Robert and this massive thing, but someone who can come in and play every day for you, I do think you're looking at a Marsh Pache split to start, but I think ideally they would much rather have Rojas there and put Marsh in both spots or whatever, depending on matchups and stuff. I think that's ideally what they would do if they don't make it a trade for like a big dude,
Yeah. I think if they don't trade for Luis Robert, I don't think they're just going to trade for a center fielder to trade for a center fielder. I think they would look more towards
the bat,
a bat, a right-handed. Like I think
they feel like they can move stuff around out there if they have to, rather than forcing trading someone just because they play center field.
Sure. I do think that they would trade for Luis Robert 100%. Mm-hmm. That's obviously, and man, again, he's hitting 177, but he's also got the second highest barrel percentage in all of baseball. He's had the hardest hit percentage. Yeah, in all of baseball. Now it's a small sample size because he's getting back from injury. He also is hitting the ball the hardest he has in his entire career. Like there's a lot of
kind of stuff you want to see.
Yeah. There's a lot of good underneath the surface rather than just looking at the batting average with Luis Robert. Again, it's probably the most torn I've been on anything while we've been doing this podcast is the idea.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Dude, it's because like the upside is the upside. He
insane.
The White Sox are brutal. And like if you can go get him with 3.5 years left at 26 years old, plus he's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, like I see all the positives. And then it's also doesn't walk, strikes out, and is injured all the time. So it's just like, and on top of the prospect cost that it's probably going to take to get the deal done, I would be ecstatic if they trade for him. But there's definitely a little voice in the back of my head that's just like, I don't know. So that's where I'm at with Luis Robert. But you think about some of the names out there, and I really hope the Red Sox sell. I really do. Because a Tyler O'Neill or Rob Refsnyder. Just hits the
ball so hard, Tyler O'Neill. It's like sometimes when people hit the baseball, you like feel bad for the baseball. That's Tyler O'Neill. It's like he is so angry when he hits that ball. It just explodes off his bat.
Well, the one off Nola in Boston was
launched. Launched. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Tyler, again, off the top of my head, like the names that really stick out are O'Neill, Refsnyder. I love Rob Refsnyder. Taylor Ward, and like Joe Adell's available, but he's another one that's hitting in the 190s.
Yeah, and does not have the success that Robert has.
No, not even. I mean,
he's never he was similar prospect, same type of thing, like top tier guy, but just has never shown it at the major league level. Where Robert, you at least have that to fall back on and be like, look what that dude did in the major leagues.
Yeah. So I don't think this is the end for Rojas. I think he'll. Barring a trade for Luis Robert,
which he would be a part of. I think if they trade for Luis Robert, Rojas is in the deal. If not, I could go anyway.
Sure. I think that, yeah. So, that's when he's back up here. And then if they don't get Robert, it's more one of those corner outfield, big right-handed kind of power bats. Given out Bohm is playing, and by the way, huge that Bohm is looking back to the first month and a half of the year.
Desperately needed.
Because that 4 spot was worrisome. Like you need someone.
Look, it's still. I'm not saying it's solved. Like we know that like Bohm's great right now. This is good if he keeps doing this, fine. But like if they add like Robert, if they like the point is it's not a lock that Bohm stays in the 4 hole depending on who they add.
Yeah, I mean I think Luis Robert's hitting there if
that's my point exactly.
Yeah, he's going to be there hitting behind Harper, and I mean that's pretty exciting.
That changes everything. Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty exciting. So a lot of things that could happen between now. I'm so giddy about the deadline, man.
I can't wait. It's fun. Like finally, we do perfect deadlines every year, and it's like us like spinning our wheels, being how cool would this be? It's like go get a Strubel Cabrera. Like this is cool. This is cool, and it's real. All right. Speaking of the deadline, one other thing before we get back into the Padres and the take back and all that. The other name that was thrown out, and also just the concept of Nightingale mentioned, but Buster Olney coming in strong and basically saying the Phillies are getting a reliever. I don't care what anyone says. Dave Dombrowski's trading for a reliever, and of course, throws Mason Miller out there. I just like, sure, I'd take Mason Miller. I can't see a world where the Phillies are going to trade what it would cost to get Mason Miller, considering the other needs and their situation. But what do you make of only A, being so emphatic in a reliever of some sort, and then B, throwing Mason Miller out there?
So, two thoughts. One, on Mason Miller himself. I wonder if the thought process, if the Phillies do it, is he's a closer now that they think can turn back into a starter.
Which would be very interesting, because he's a
got
starter.
5 years
trade,
after. Yeah. He's got 5 years of before arbitration.
Well, and he was pretty decent when he started last year.
Like,
he was young and stuff, but he had some really nice moments last year when he started.
Of course. So I wonder if that would be a part of it, if the Phillies did get involved in the Mason Miller thing. The Nightingale and Olney thing, it just feels like they are talking about Dombrowski's reputation versus...
more than the specific knowledge of the situation.
Correct. That's what it kind of looks like to me.
It did with Olney. The way he phrased it, he's like, if I know Dave Dombrowski, he's not, it wasn't like, look at this team, they've been calling around or whatever, No,
there's been way more stuff about outfielder than closer. And in a perfect world, in a vacuum, yeah, getting a Mason Miller, getting a lockdown closer is fine. It's just the Phillies have one move for like a big swing, and using that on a closer when you have the options they have in the back of the bullpen just feels like a mistake. Plus, like, you could probably go get Tanner Scott for a lot less. He's got a 1 point. Well, again, this is when I looked before the JD Martinez home run, but he had a 1.3 ERA. He's been really good. He's really tough from the left side. He's closed out games before. While it's not, really playoff games. I know the Marlins made the playoffs
Neither
last
is Mason
year.
Miller, for what it's worth. I know he's nasty,
Sure.
but that dude's never pitched in a big spot, for just comparison's sake.
And he pitched in Division 3.
But...
yeah, he pitched in lowly Division 3. So how does he know anything about big games?
Right.
But yeah, so like, and Tanner Scott's a free agent at the end of the year, so would cost significantly less than Mason Miller. Yeah. So again, would I be mad if they got Mason Miller? No, unless it costs you Aiden Miller or Andrew Painter. But I don't feel the need to go get a real closer. Like, go get Tanner Scott if you really want to go get and have him replace Soto, dude. Imagine like replacing Soto with Tanner Scott, and you can go him, Strahm, and Alvarado with Hoffman, Kirkering, and Sir Anthony. Like, that's insane. Pretty locked down. Yeah,
insane. I mean, you're not going to use all those guys in the playoffs. So you can, but we remember, and look, 2022, they were a guy short. But in 2022, the Phillies came damn close to winning the World Series with two relievers we trusted. That was it. It was Alvarado and Sir Anthony, and that was it. There was Robertson, bitch. Like, there was no one. They brought Eflin by the end. Was like, the point is they had no one else to bring into a game who we trusted at all. And even by the end, Alvarado was at the end
shaky,
of it, a little shaky. Like, and they almost won the World Series with that. We're talking about having 6 of those guys, like 5 of those guys. It's a totally different thing.
Well, and by the way, I think the complexion of the starting staff has totally changed things as well. In 2022, Ranger is not going deep in games. Yep. Last year, Ranger was not going super deep in games.
Syndergaard start a World Series game in 2022. Think about that.
Why don't you bring that to a Quizzo night and roll that one out there?
Good one.
But like Chris Sanchez was not going deep in those games last year. It was pretty much Nola Wheeler. Of course, they would go deep, but unless they believe that Rob Thompson is going to be as aggressive as he's been the last couple of postseasons, and that's why you want to get a real lockdown guy, sure, I get that. But I do think the starting staff has changed from the standpoint of they're going deeper into baseball games. So, like, do you need to manage them like it's game 7 of the playoffs? You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think it's going to be Ranger goes 3 innings and there it is. We got to get him out of there. We got to get someone else in there.
I don't think there's any chance of that. I agree.
Yeah. The bullpen's fine. I know the old adage, you can never have enough pitching.
Enough arms, yep.
Sure, I agree. It's just we gotta talk about the best uses of resources here, and I just don't think investing everything in Mason Miller is a good use of resources.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. All right, anything else on the Padres series before the take back? I thought, obviously yesterday's win was super fun, and seeing him come back against Suarez was neat. Schwarber, another big hit. I think
Schwarber, man,
4 for 5 for Cassie with the winning hit. It does feel like Cassie at home just is so much more comfortable. I'll tell you one thing I love back. So I knew he had 2 walk-off hits. A third is his third of the year. I love how he waits for everyone to come to him. You know what I mean? I
Sure.
feel like most guys get the walk-off hit, they run in and duck their head. Like Cassie just puts his arms out and he's like, "Come on in, fellas." I love that.
It.
Like
I
love that. Like I don't know why, but that like hits me every time. But a really fun win, a laugher on Monday. What a thrill that was. What else from the series before we get to the take back?
Well, I thought Chris Sanchez was really good in a bounce back start after the Red Sox. I think we just chalk up that first series out of London as these guys are changing time zones and coming back off of a plane. I think it was just more of a blip in the radar than who these guys are. I thought Nola was good. I think he just kind of ran out of gas last night. Chris Sanchez, great. I mean, the bullpen last night was pretty sick, man. When you talk about those three.
That was fun to watch. It was like, oh, this is what it looks like when you just shut it down with these dudes.
They didn't allow a hit.
I mean, even looking at the box score was cool because it's like Hoffman 0.86 ERA, Strom 0.93, Kirkring like 1.1 or whatever. It's like, look at this. This is nuts, dude. It felt like that Astros. Speaking of 2022, it was like when you looked at that Astros bullpen, it was like Ryan Stanek has the highest ERA at 2.2 or whatever. It's like, what is happening here?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, I just Ranger was fine today. Like the starting staff, it feels like has calmed down. Wheeler obviously was not great his last time out against the Orioles. I'll be shocked if that's like turns into something. I feel like Zach Wheeler's a pretty damn good pitcher. I think he'll be all right. But yeah, I think the pitching mostly right itself against the Padres. Soto, people aren't going to trust him again. I think Marsh could have gotten that ball. I thought, and he's out of that inning. But yeah, overall, I think the pitching kind of settled down a little bit the series, and the bats showed up in the first two games. That took a little while in the second game, but the June Schwarber thing, it's going to be so interesting having to explain that to future generations.
Oh my God. I know. It's like one of the weirder, and he loves bits, but it's like one of the weirdest ones. Just again, it's one thing to lead the Phillies all time in home runs per June or home runs per at bat period, which he does. But like, to be ahead of Babe Ruth and dudes like that in June, to like just be so clearly the best to ever do it in the month of June is it's an over the top bit there, my friend.
Right. So here's my question, because you know me, always focus on the future.
True.
Are you extending Schwarber? And if you are, for how long?
So I mean, it's one of those you need two to tango, but I don't think there's any question.
I think he would. I think he loves it here.
I agree with you. I think I think that he is just way too important on too many levels to let go. I totally
agree.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. And look, I don't think the power is going anywhere. I don't think the eye is going anywhere. Look, he's not going to hit forever, but like, it's not like his home runs are close. It's not like, oh, maybe he's a little less powerful this year and they're not finding their way out. Those homers are getting out. So I think he should age better than you would think for someone who looks like he does, for lack of a better phrase.
Well, at the same time, it's like his swing is now he tries to launch baseballs, but it's not like Bryce's swing worries me long term. I feel like Schwarber's swing is easy. Is pretty okay. I mean, 3 years, 70, $23 million a year.
I would do that. Yeah.
What about Castellanos?
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
3 years, $7. Do you think he would accept that? Because for the clubhouse, he can play for that.
Yeah. But I'm letting everyone know. Everyone's mad about the leadoff hitter thing. How about a Schwarber extension, baby? How about a Schwarber extension?
The crazy thing is we've heard so much less of the leadoff thing this year, haven't we? Like, there's still the people who are always going to bring it up. Even
whenever they lose a game,
like
it's
Howard.
Schwarber.
Even Howard is like, all right, like I'd rather have someone fast at the top, but okay. Like it's impossible to argue with. It's
it doesn't help. It doesn't help when Stott's hitting 230,
that too, yeah,
6 or whatever. Now I think Stott had a pretty good series. I think we see.
That was a big hit. That was a big hit last night.
Well, even when he's struggling, I still believe in him. Like even when he's struggling, I'm still like, Stott's probably going to come through here. So, overall, a fine series. Today was all right. I think it was an emotional win last night, and definitely.
I think so too. And look, they got 18 hits the night before. I mean, anyone who thought they were going to put up some runs today is out of their mind. Like that's just not how the Phillies work.
Against a knuckleballer?
Yeah,
right. They were never hitting a knuckleballer.
Exactly right, which is neat, by the way. All right, take back in a sec. Shout out to the Miller Lite account of the week, Jimmy's Timeout. Today's show, shout out to Jimmy's. Today's show is sponsored by Miller Lite and Jimmy's Timeout in the Northeast. Check out Jimmy's Timeout for every Phillies game. Enjoy $3 Miller Lite aluminums along with their famous roast pork sandwich with sharp provolone. Big fan of that. And broccoli Rob on a seeded roll. Miller Lites for Phil's win. Celebrate responsibly. All right, take back, Fritzy, and don't give me like a 30-minute take back. All right, it's getting bedtime for your boy here.
Jimmy's Timeout, eh?
Yeah, Jimmy's Timeout.
I mean, like, it's like I'm gonna put you in timeout for this next. Like...
Good. Can I just go to bed or no? Okay,
yeah, dude. Yeah. So, first off. Is Robert Suarez now? Greg Frank tweeted this at me last night. Robert Suarez is our new Broxton.
Yeah, I saw it too. It's a great tweet, and yeah, I mean, it kind of is, right?
It's so funny. I don't care what happened today. Today was a letdown spot for the Phillies. Yeah. He was terrified last night, and it was amazing because he's been insane this year. Like outside of Hoffman,
blown a save. He's been phenomenal.
He's allowed two earned runs this entire year, and then bang, 4 straight hits up.
He is nasty. Like that dude can pitch, man.
Yeah. But it's so funny. Does not matter what Robert Suarez does for the rest of his career. He can make the All-Star team this year. He could be the lowest ERA amongst relievers in baseball. We don't care at all. We own Robert Suarez.
We own him like we own Broxton, who was the best reliever in the sport for 3 years or whatever. Yeah. He's ours. Yeah,
it's a good bit. Every Phillies team needs to own an insane reliever.
I love it
for a little bit. It's great. Shout out to Willie Mays. Obviously, passed away, the greatest living ball player, and
no longer formerly the greatest living ball player.
Formerly the greatest. Yes. Thank you for clarifying. He and you look at the stats, and it's just like, dude, this guy's pretty ridiculous.
It's insane, his numbers. And his average should have been higher the last few years. Kind of played longer and wasn't quite as good at the end. But even at like 36, 37, he's putting up like, close to 900 OPS seasons and stuff. He was like, I grew up with like reading about the sport, learning about the sport, all that, where it was like kind of just Willie Mays was the best. Like that was just kind of the accepted feeling was like, Babe Ruth was Babe and importance of the game. Ted Williams was the greatest dude to ever pick up a baseball bat, and Willie Mays was the best player ever. Like those were just kind of things that were like known almost. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And the say hey kid is just an unbelievable nickname.
Awesome nickname.
Yeah.
Awesome nickname.
It was a bummer to see that last night. Obviously, Willie Mays just an unbelievable player. Mookie Betts, the hand fracture seems like it's pretty legit here. Again, like things are now he'll be back for the playoffs, and that's not. But
that hurts. I mean, that can set power, all that type of stuff.
A lot of things are breaking this team's way, and we need them to break through. Plus, it helps the Harper MVP run, which feels like we're getting a Shohei, Bryce September for the MVP. Bryce being a 3-time MVP with 2 as a Philly would be pretty ridiculous.
Well, it's special. That list is very, 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 very elite. The 3-time MVP list is super small. Like it's really small.
And Bryce is first in National League voting for the All-Star game. So
thank God.
Barring
how crazy is it that he's been here since 2019 and we haven't watched him play in the All-Star game? It's like the craziest. It's honestly, he's won an MVP. It's one of the weirdest little dumb quirks of injuries and timing and the way in the pandemic year and all that, the way it played out. But the fact that it's going to take until 2024 for us to watch Bryce in the All-Star game is crazy.
We saw Craig Kimbrell close out an All-Star game as a Philly before we saw Bryce Harper playing one. So, again, knocking on wood because we've seen him get injured before, and it cost him playing in the All-Star game.
Yes, twice.
But he should be there, and Alec Bohm, 800,000 votes ahead of the next.
Unbelievable. The biggest gap between 1 and 2 at any position.
Well, it's probably going to end up Bohm at third, Turner at short because Mookie got hurt, Harper at first.
And then Ranger on the hill, probably.
Rojas in center field.
By the way, speaking of which, I mean, Marsh is the highest vote getter. Did you see the numbers with Bohm when Marsh is in the lineup when he's not?
That's awesome. Yeah, I talked about
Shout
last
out to
night
was on Twitter. I don't know who was.
Well, no, it was on Phillies Reddit. It was on Phillies Reddit.
All right. I didn't know where it came from, but I saw it. But like, it's unbelievable.
It's so funny.
He's like betting 330 with Marsh in the lineup, like 220 or whatever, 240 or whatever. It's unbelievable.
So, again, don't care that Marsh is slugging
Friendship,
-100.
Man. Friendship.
Yeah, well, he's listen. Marsh is slugging like -100 against lefties.
Yeah, he's
got to play
bad. He's batting like 130 against lefties.
He's got to play. We need the best version of Alec Bohm. So
it is what it is. It's worth it.
It is what it is. So So I'm really digging into the draft stuff.
Oh, buddy, not today. You're not.
You sure? You sure?
What do you got? Go ahead. You make it quick.
Nah, all right.
Just a quick little one.
There's a couple prep arms. All right, so like Braylon Doherty is my favorite. Is my favorite prep arm. Joey Oki is in there again. So like, I just like I need to be the draft. I need to be the draft because now I'm starting to like pace. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting into pacing season where it's just like, okay, well, what are they gonna do? Like, do they need to get a prep arm in there because Painter and Abel and they're starting to graduate. They have a good base of young hitters in the system, but at the same time, man, like. First off, I love that Brian Barber's strategy is just like always a high school kid in the first round, just because like they're so much more projectable, and like if they go to college for 3 years, then they are going to be like the number one pick in the draft most likely if they're any good. But yeah, I really need it. I really need the draft to come around. And what stinks for me this year, and what all affected last year, is it was right after Walker was born ish. So when I took the week off, it was a staycation. And I'm going to be in Canada when the Phillies are drafting. So
no.
I'm not going to be able to do the full-on breakdown, which I know breaks your heart.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, devastated. Yeah, crushed.
Try not to tear up.
Yes, the tears are flowing. You just can't see them.
So I will be in Canada.
Am I smiling too big? Is it too big a smile? I'll try and tone that down. I'm sorry.
We'll do a live pod. Don't you worry.
I know.
Don't you worry.
You will pod from a freaking like igloo on the side of whatever. You'll pod from a frozen lake. You will find a way to. I know. Don't
worry. Don't worry. I know you're stressed.
Yep.
I got you.
I feel so much better now.
There's a lot. Keith Law mocked Carter Johnson to them today, who could be the next gunner. But I've already anointed. I've already anointed Aiden the next gunner. Well, he's a lefty shortstop from Alabama.
Aiden's right-handed. He can't be the lefty. He can't be gunner.
Sure.
I can't do left-handed and right-handed comps. I just can't do it. It's too different for me.
Yeah. So I guess the only reason why I did it is that Gunner was a late first round, second round pick.
Gotcha. Some more positioning and gotcha.
Correct. You're right. Aiden Miller is steroidless Ryan Braun.
I love that. But better defensively.
Oh, 10 times better defensively.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Wilmington.
Come hang out. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. And the families are coming, I think. I think Zoe and Emily are in. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. You got anything else?
Nothing else, buddy. Nothing else.
Bad time for your boy. I will say, as someone, sadly, I know. As someone who, really tries to, not do as much as possible, being out in the sun for like 5 hours really takes it out of you, man.
Sun's hot.
Yeah, the sun, the beers, the whole thing. Like, I am feeling it. So I'm happy we made it through this without any incident. I feel good about it.
Yeah, it tires you out. It's good.
All right. We'll be back after the weekend. Nice to have a day off tomorrow. I know you hate it, but I could use the early to bed and get back. Diamondback, how you feeling about that? D-backs in town. The hate still there. Yeah, because they've been disappointing this year. I've been that great. Obviously, cold night and all that. That'll be fun. But like because when we talked in the offseason, whatever, like you hated the D-backs. Like it was like I kind of thought you might hate them more than the Braves in the moment. Where's it at?
Well,
now?
I did. Yeah.
100%. I know. But I'm saying even after the offseason, like heading into the season, it felt like the Diamondbacks were like like number one in your eye.
Of course, man. They suck. They suck, dude.
That's why it's hard to hate them so much. It's like you guys are not good.
It was obviously a fluke. And I I'm a sore loser. I don't know if that comes. I don't know if that comes through on the podcast, but 100%, I'm a sore loser.
Good.
The team stinks, and I told you they're going to miss the playoffs this year, and they are going to miss the
Looking
playoffs. Good. Jordan Montgomery is getting shelled. So yeah, like I hate the Diamondbacks. I don't know if I'll be down there this weekend. Cole Night should be fun. I look forward to the 09 NL pennant ring on Hamilton night.
Yep, it'll be special. Everyone
My boy Rich
Cole's contributions to it. I saw that. You probably can't go. You'd be too nervous to walk in the building. See him at any point. What do you do?
Man, Dubes. It's hard not to be nervous when greatness is around.
It's what everyone says. They see Rich Doobie and they have no idea who he is. But if they did, then they would be very nervous around him.
You get a little nervous. Yeah.
Dude, that's Rich Doobie. When you go say hi to him, I can't. Are you crazy? It's Rich Doobie. That's actually what happened between me and Jack in Cooperstown. So,
yeah.
That's
my boy.
We'll be back after the weekend. 2 or 3 or sweep because it's the Diamondbacks.
They only play 3. I need 4.
Yes.
To make up for last year. It won't make up for last year at all.
But I'm with you. You gotta take 4 of 3. I
Just
think that's right.
go in and step on a throat. Yeah.
First ever 4 of 3. All right, we'll be back to react to it. Until then, here's Fritz and Seltzer.